Hi guys, welcome back to Talking Reality Podcast. In today's episode, unfortunately I'm riding solo and my podcast co-host has been unable to make it, but we've got the perfect backup in our guest, the honest poet, Jamie Summers, a musician from the South Wales area, who's going to share his story of how he's achieved the success he has so far and whether or not he is where he believes he should be and his plans for the future. So tune in guys, it's a special episode and I hope you enjoy it.
We're ascending to the highest heights. You are my shelter from the lonely nights. Now we're running through our red lights. I wouldn't do it without you. Without you.
So, Jay, one of the questions I wanted to ask you for a long time, man, it's
Yeah.
really played on my mind. Where does the name The Honest Poet come from?
So for ages, I was going under the name of Jamie Summers.
Yeah.
And then, I just thought, so if Eminem can be called Eminem and Marshall Mathers and Slim Shady and Shady, I just thought I'm going to just create almost like a concept. And I didn't really know what for a while. I did try sort of Jamie Ray, spelled R-A-E, because I saw it in Cardiff when I was busking. Before it was like R, and then it's like a weird A and then an E on the back of it.
Okay.
It looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
And then that didn't sync with me really. It had no story. It all started in uni. It's a difficult part of my life.
Okay.
So basically a lot of things were happening. My sister passed away. I was doing a lot of research because of my course that I was in. There was a
What course were you studying?
I was studying creative sound and music in Newport for USW. One of the topics and one of the things I had to do was just do a lot of research on other rappers, other musicians, and then sort of relating yourself to them. And I basically stayed up quite a lot. I stayed up for 3 days and didn't eat, didn't sleep, and I was smoking a lot and
Cannabis.
Yeah. So that was just kind of in uni, sort of.
Yeah,
That's when you start just experimenting and sort of whatnot. So that was kind of
course,
my thing.
bro. I'm with you. Yeah.
My mother, attempted to take her life because my sister passing away. All the pressure. I had money, sort of trouble as well because of accommodation being so much, and just a lot of it just kind of.
It's a real tough time, man.
It's a
real tough.
Real mad time. And I was then I just started reading into reading poetry, but it was Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss is just I think Dr. Seuss is sick, because it's very within every story there's an honest message. And I always and when I was reading them and watching the little videos and stuff of his things, I kind of took away. I like the honesty within that. So that's one part of how I got the name.
Yeah, of course.
The other one was I had a breakdown. So I had a breakdown. I had to go to St. Cadoc's because my brain broke. Basically, you kind of just had a little, just implosion.
It's not. I mean, it's understandable, man. With all the stuff you going on at that
so
point.
I say it quite lightly, but because I've said it so many times to people.
Of course, man. It's
kind of just that narrative that I just kind of can just go through
because it's your life, bro. You know.
Yeah.
Of course. You live through.
So I'm not saying it lightly. There's a lot of weight within it all.
Yeah, of course. I get that.
So yeah, when I was in St. Cadoc's, and I went into this sort of observe mode.
Observing other patients.
Yeah, it was other patients, of it, like everybody around me, because I started within all of this time in uni. I started meditating. Meditating, and really just started sort of like watching people, and so I got into that kind of practice and listened to the people's like tone of voice, body language, what they would say. And then within all what they would say, because like the way that my mind was working like on overtime, I was very hypersensitive to what they were saying and how they were saying it, and whether I felt as though they was telling me the truth or not. Because you're speaking to like all these other patients, and they could be on a mad one. You don't even know like what's going on in their heads and whether they're saying like the truth or whatever. And I just thought, like, just be honest. Just be honest with me. I'd rather someone speak to me and tell me the truth than someone tell me absolute garbage. So like after all of that, I come away then, and I just still like had love for poetry, and you know, still into my Dr. Seuss and like music, because that's been my saving grace. That's been like the one thing that's got me through everything in my life. I just kind of merged just like the honest poet, just from that. So that's kind of the basis of where my name has originated from. So yeah, that's my answer to that one.
That's deep, man. But I respect your honesty.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's in your title, but
yeah. And the thing is, I don't even try and play to that. That's just, I think like I've just been taught to be honest, and you know, being given that sort of.
I think
don't lie.
I respect that more, you know, because especially in the world we live in today, where where most things are artificial, we live in this filtered world. But there is only one constant, man, and that's the truth. You know. And I think we live in a world now where people's relationship with the truth is fractured. Very fractured. Yeah. So for you to sit there and just be like, just say it how it is, and like, you know, you're right, man. Just be honest, isn't it? You know, but I think it's sometimes.
I think like I try and with my songs and with my lyrics, like regardless what they're about, I always feel as though the honesty comes from. Like obviously from me, from some sort from my experiences, as long as there's like a nugget of like truth within my songs, then I can happily put that out, because I feel as though there's a lot of songs out there that there's a lot of fake it before you make it kind of lyrics, and I mean that's great, but like if you can't prove that that's something that's happened or you've got that, then
it's got to have meaning to you.
Yeah. It's got to have depth. Like it's got to have like, you know, substance. Like
of course, man. So I get the kind of origins of the name, but where does your music journey begin?
My journey.
When did it start?
Sure. My journey of music started in school.
Yeah.
Before secondary school, primary school, I think. I've always liked choir. I always used to like being in the choir.
Yeah.
I think like it started from I can skip a lesson, and then it turned into I actually really like this. This is something that I really like, and that's in like primary school. And then I come away from that. That was just like a blur. Then that sort of like come away. And then I just always felt as though like I could sing. There was like an ability and an urge to sing whenever a song came on. Like, not saying I was great.
Yeah.
I think it was around secondary school then. Music lessons. You know what music lessons are like? People DJ. Do you know what I mean?
What, on the piano?
DJ.
Dictionary. Yeah, sorry, man. I was that guy. Yeah, so yeah, I can relate to that.
It kind of it was a slow burner, slow build up. And there was one time where I sang "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" in a music class, and I must have been alright because nobody took the mick out of me. Do you know what I mean? Like if you,
that's always
if you're gonna do something stand up and make yourself known, then you got to take that scrutiny of like.
Yeah, for sure,
But
man.
nobody actually said anything to me, so I kind of was like, okay, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, man.
And that was year 7, and then nothing. Then every year there would be the school concerts and sort of, you know, people going up and singing, and I'd see my peers, like people in my year, people in the year above, like going up, and I'm thinking like sat there just like, oh God, I really want to get up there, and I feel as I could go up there and do better. So that was my whole school life, like year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11. Then it come to 6th form, and then it was like you could have your choices, and then I just didn't show any interest in music to other people. It was all sport. I did rugby.
Yeah.
I did football, and people know me from doing that. And then when I turned to doing music, people were like, what? Like, like
Where's that come from, bro?
Yeah, look, you've been playing freaking rugby all your freaking, you know, your school life, and now you're a singer. Like,
yeah, where's that come from, man? Yeah.
So like it's always been in me, and then I started off and I was absolutely dog poo. Like, you know, I like on the first time I ever sung with a guitar, I just was out of time, out of pitch. I couldn't grasp it. Like, it was
basically
just,
what I'd be like if I didn't know.
yeah, like like you'd have to get used to it. It'd be
Yeah,
something,
of course, man.
something, but like, yeah. So I found it really difficult at the start. I would shout, just not really have any sort of like control or like even style. But like there was that inner passion that I knew that I had to harness, I guess. And like I could tell that my music teachers could see potential, because otherwise they wouldn't allow me to go. You know, they wouldn't allow me to be on the course, the lesson. So
you knew there was something in you. You knew there was.
Like I just, you know, there was people that would like sort of take the mic and be like, oh, so do you rap? Do you play bass? And I'm like, no, I sing. Like that's what I do. And it was like it was sick, because it really shown, you know, all this time that there was something inside, and I hadn't been able to express it. But now is the time I have to just go for it, because if I didn't do it, I probably wouldn't be doing it now. Like, I think that's where like sort of, yeah, that's where it started. And then from that, when I started doing like the concerts, I'd have people then.
When you say the concerts, is that in school?
In
Still
school,
in school,
yeah.
Still
So
in school,
sixth form concerts.
Okay,
I think it was like 10 days after we had to learn within like the first week we had to learn like a set list and then perform it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the buzz that I got from being on stage for the first time in front of the whole school was like enough for me to be like, I want to do this. Scary.
Was there like a lot of nerves?
A lot of nerves.
Yeah, of course, man.
Hell, a lot of nerves. Like,
Wait, so this is the first concert, and you sang in front of the whole school.
Yeah.
And what was the feedback like?
It's on YouTube somewhere.
I'm gonna find that, man. I want to see. One thing I want to ask you about. So, kind of leading on from what you're talking about, talent shows. What's your perspective on them? You know, the X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, that sort of thing. Have you ever applied for them?
Yeah.
And do you think they are a good sort of mechanism for people to become successful? Well, they are a good mechanism for people have achieved success from them. I think it is a small handful.
Yeah.
But what's your perspective on them?
Well, I've applied. I started applying when I was like 16.
Okay.
And just every year I've got so far, and then never really had any like personalized feedback from them. Like, there's never been any like sort of pointers that they could have give me, like to improve or work on for next year to apply.
So when you apply, I'm assuming you obviously
go there. Like, sometimes it's like just you go to the auditions.
Okay, yeah.
Or you can be scouted. So like when I first started doing it, I was just going to the auditions and then just trying my luck and getting past the rounds. And then I started getting like scouted in open mics. And then like basically bypassing like 2 levels and then going to
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. I'm
the
with you.
third level and then just like going in and just speaking to the sort of producers, and then they just give you feedback, and then I get an email about what feels like forever waiting to say, oh, unfortunately at this time, and I just like fortunate, no, it's not for me anymore. Like the furthest I got was one before the live shows. Like I went all the way down to London to do a callback, and then went there, and I think I was just too sure of not too sure, but just like confident. I'm just like I'm a confident person, so like
Yeah, I get that vibe, man.
that might have like come across like I don't need this, or like, do you know what I mean? And I'm never like that. I'm humble. I'm grounded with my like artistry, so I'll never be like I'm the best. But like I feel as though that yeah, I just don't think it's for me personally, because I feel as though like I'm an established act as the honest poet going on to a like TV show, going, oh, my name is the honest poet. They'd be like, well, who are you? Like, do you know what I mean? They'd expect your name. Do you know what I mean? I just feel as though that would be the I just
Well, I
don't
just
think it's the way
my
forward
perspective
for
on
me.
them is just that. What's those 2 Irish twins? The ones Jedward.
Jedward,
Yeah, I think they kind of sum up.
it's gimmick.
Yeah, a lot of it. And I remember I went to the live auditions once, and
What to
they
say?
not to sing. Mate. Have you heard me sing? No, I was sat in the crowd, bro. But there was someone who got up and sang. It was appalling, and quite clearly, they knew they were appalling already. So they've obviously just put them up there just for like a clickbait sort of thing, just to keep people like, oh yeah, let's all start laughing, whatever. And I just thought, this is just so fake.
Yeah.
It's so fake, man.
Yeah,
And that's why I just think it can be a good. Like, you got people like JLS who have achieved good success.
Yeah.
One Direction, there are some like great success stories, and some of them have got some real talent. But I think
with myself, it's more going to be like more of an organic thing.
Well, if you want it to be honest, mate, then I think
Like I don't feel as though I need somebody to tell me what to wear or what to sing about and what music to make. I feel as though it would zap all the soul out of me.
I love that, man.
I feel
So
as though it just deter me.
So the alternative is obviously live shows, live like mic nights, and like busking.
Yeah.
So how much of that have you done?
Well, I started sort of like after uni. I took before I even went to uni. I was a year before that. I went to open mics and started networking with all the other musicians, meeting Tobias Robertson, like John Lily Green, and I kind of like soaked up the culture of it all, like what it means to just do music, just go and do,
just get that experience, man.
Yeah.
Like, which is just, that's beautiful, man. Like, I suppose just like from where you start, you say you're that kid who's just full of nerves about going to do your first when you're on stage in school in sixth form,
yeah.
And
I didn't have that though. I don't.
But that's part of the experience, isn't it, man? About
If I didn't have that like the my school life and then the open mics, like sort of like weaving my way around sort of just the open mics, like going from like Cardiff to Bristol to, I even did like a 3 days in London before. That was cool.
Is that all like open mic nights?
Open mics, yeah. But like that, they sort of taught me how to be a musician and be humble and be grounded and realize, it's all about just putting in the work.
Of course it is, bro.
Like there's I've been like in open mics where there's been people that it's the first time ever and they've performed, and it's like it's amazing to think like where I came from. I did all that back in school, so all them nerves, it kind of like I'm not saying I'm a pro open mic,
but you've learned to manage those emotions.
Yeah. So they're amazing training grounds, and I recommend to anybody that wants to actually start doing music to go and do open mic nights. There's no shame in them. That's where you develop who you are as an artist, because it's not just you have to think about. You have to think about the audience members, whether you're even like sort of if it's for you, because you could go on stage, feel as though you've absolutely nailed it, but like the crowd hasn't responded to it. There's like,
Is a lot of it feeding off their energy?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I've gone to gigs where, or like open mics where it's been quiet, no response, and it's like from like acts going on stage, and it's like, oh man, I feel for them. I
can imagine, man.
I feel as though you have to have like thick skin though.
I get the live mic nights, like open mic nights. I've never been to one, but it's definitely on my list. I need to start.
Porter's, Cardiff.
Yeah. Next time you're performing, man, I'm coming.
Yeah. So.
But I get like everyone who's there kind of knows what they're there for. But one thing that kind of fascinates me, and I always think, fair play, man, you've got a set of bollocks on you, is when I see someone busking, because I think you're just out there on the street. Anyone can walk.
Busking. It's a completely different
vibe.
Game,
I can imagine.
Because like people are just walking past, they don't care. Like if you catch someone's attention, then you've done a real good job.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You like, and if you're like sort of good enough for them to want to give you money, it's not about that, but it's like, thank you for providing that nice bit of music that I just enjoyed for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's rare that you'll get like a crowd of people watching you.
Have you ever had that?
I've had a tiny crowd.
Yeah.
But not like, you're not one of these people, not one of those ones where like you see them, it's like they might have formed like a whole circle around them.
Do you get people filming a lot?
Yeah, filming as they walk past. That's cool, always man. Cool. But it's hard to like be like, check out The Honest Poet, and then just sort of get into the the next line.
Here's my Insta.
Yeah. So like it's like, unless like you've got like a little cardboard thing that says all your details, all the social medias. Like but it is really rewarding. And sometimes like I've had like amazing conversations with people, like because it's not like I'm not paid to be there. Like no one's sort of like saying, like you've got to do this for an hour. Like I can just take breaks whenever I want. Like so within those like hours, the time that you're there, you can speak to like cool people. Like I've had people come and dance, come and have like spiritual conversations, talk about their life. Even you've just made my day. Thank you very much. Or,
I absolutely love that, man.
Do you know what I mean? It's rewarding in other ways. Like
it's not always about like how much money do you make today, bro. Or how big was the crowd. If one person comes up and says, "Hey man, like I was having a shit day, and hearing your music's made me feel good," that's a win, man. That's a win.
100%, because you're putting out those good positive vibrations out today to the people walking past. Like, do you know what I mean? Like
that's what music is. Yeah.
There's one time that I always remember is in Cardiff. And a couple just stood and just watched me for like 3 songs, like and just was just like, that was beautiful, and then just sort of give me a quid and then left, and I was just like, I'm glad I've done that.
Exactly, man. Yeah, I think
that I think busking is like the rawest form of performing.
100%. You're just out there, mate, and you're there to be exposed. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are going to walk past.
It's a good confidence booster.
One thing I'm interested in is who would you say is your idol?
My idol, I think
musically, obviously.
I don't think I have an idol. I've had a lot of influences along the way. I think like, from my journey of doing like the grassroots, going to like open mics and seeing the different musicians that I have, they've influenced me.
Yeah,
my music.
For sure.
Just how to be, like Tobias Robertson, like pretty much mentored me from my start of my sort of like musical career, and then just kind of like took little bits from everybody that I've ever spoken to or like heard play. But like if we're going like sort of role models, early days, was Chris Martin from Coldplay,
Nice. I like Chris Martin.
just because of his energy on stage.
Yeah, I just went and saw Coldplay. He has got great energy on
Yeah,
stage.
that's the kind of like performer I wanted to be like, but my music doesn't replicate that because that's not where I went down. And then, as of recent, influenced by Bieber.
Yeah, he's killed it, man.
He smashed it. I think when he had his flip, when he started working with Skrillex, that was what kind of changed my mind about him. And when he brought out "Love Yourself" and just all those.
Yeah, that
those
album
songs.
was a game changer for him. I think.
Yeah.
He built a lot more fans.
Yeah.
Diverse.
Yeah.
Fans. Yeah.
I think as my musicality changed, the genres that I went into, I've gone into like hip hop kind of vibe. People like Loyal Kana. There's a dude called Zach Said. He's from London. Zach Abel. Even to like pop now. Shawn Mendes, like he's sixing. I just like, yeah, like I feel as though I've been influenced by a lot of people.
There's not one
There's
person.
Not, yeah, I wouldn't say I have a
been
role
different
model.
Yeah, fair. I get that, man. Obviously recently you've released an album.
Yeah.
Is that the first album you released?
First one, yeah.
Yeah. So talk to me about that, man.
So that was.
What was that like?
So it's called Letters to My Queen, and the concept is all the things that I would say to my fiance.
So a lot of that came from your
my sort of my experience.
feelings towards your partner.
So
yeah,
like
I love that.
So the first song I wrote, which I felt as though like sort of like upped my lyrical ability, was Purpose.
Great song, man.
Thank you.
Great song.
I wrote that and that was with a producer called Menno Beck from the Netherlands, which I reached out on social media during this whole sort of pandemic, and I literally
respect that, bro.
Yeah,
like
I literally just was like, "Oh, bro, like you're sick. Do you want to work on a song?" And then like it was just back and forth then, and we ended up building like a relationship, and we come up with Purpose, like and that then was like, right, do you know what? If I can write like this, I just want to do.
Would you say that's your favorite song so far?
That and a song called Sober on the album.
Can't say I've heard that one. I'll have to check it out.
I basically just talk about like, you know, even if you're in a rough patch with your partner and you have like heated discussions, then it's okay because that's what's meant to happen, and that you always find a way to resolve that issue and come together, you know. And you know, I took it from the concept of like on a night out, you may be drunk and would have said something stupid, and like, yeah, you just have to listen to the song.
I'll check it out, man. I'm sure our followers will too.
Thank you. So the process of that was I reached out to Minas from Cardiff. He's the Cardiff producer, and made one song, and then I was sending him other ideas, and I was just like, I might as well just do an album. If I'm writing so much, I'm just gonna do an album. It took like a year to do, like about 8 months to do.
The music videos, how hard were they to make?
So Purpose was me and my mate, Jacob White Media. Look him up. He's a mate of mine, like best mate from school. And that was like 2 days filming, just like.
I think I've seen that video, man. It's pretty. Looks good, man.
Just simple. Just literally me and a camera. It's just like, right, what should I wear? Just bring a couple of things, James. Okay. So we just literally went for the locations in Chepstow, and then one in Portskewitt with my fiance, and just went from there. Really, just with that one. Good Love was a little bit more planning. Asked for like sort of dancers. Anybody like any dancers out there that want to be in a music video? Like can't pay you, but like, do you want to be in a music video?
Yeah.
So man. I did that one. That was cool. Got smoke bombs and that. And then Red Lights that was quite.
That's my favorite song of yours.
Red Lights. Yeah,
I really like that song, man.
yeah. I obviously can't gas it up too much, but I think it's an absolute banger. But
You can gas it up, bro. You can gas it up.
that is sick. It's a sick song. I love just Don the Prod. So that's another producer in Cardiff that did that song. Yeah, that one was quite cool how it happened. So a videographer messaged me just saying, "Oh, have you got any sort of songs you want to do a creative project on?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool. Like, I got this one that's coming out." And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Can you send me the video so I can start sort of storyboard it?"
Yeah.
And then it come to it. Hired a massive house. And spent a whole day filming it in Newport, and I can't remember where it is now. But yeah, spent a whole day on it. And that was for free. Like, you know, he basically was like, the only thing I'm going to charge you is the expenses, like renting the house and the food that we ate, and that was it, really.
Sweet, man.
So, but like that was like the most professional video.
Yeah,
that
that's
I put
got
out.
a very professional vibe about it, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, so like, but yeah, once I'd got all the things done, it was just basically just about planning. So I released Red Lights with the date with the Letters to My Queen, just as just to push it. So yeah,
It's a great album, man.
Thank
From
you
what
very
I've
much.
listened to it so far, I
you.
do really like it. One thing that, like, you know, we spoke about a lot about on this podcast is kind of like vision and like, so where you see things going. Now I'm interested in where you see yourself going, but one question I want to ask is, 5 years ago, you'd have had a vision of the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So take yourself back 5 years. Are you where you thought you'd be today? Or have things gone differently? I mean, what?
Well,
tell me.
I'm definitely further than I thought I would be.
Love that.
Just down to the people that I know now, because I wasn't being played on radio. I didn't have contacts like that. I don't think I was at the ability that I am now as a songwriter.
So you write all your own songs?
Yeah.
Fair play, man.
It's the production that I get help with, like working with a producer, like.
Of course.
But like, yeah, the writing ability I wasn't as good. I was listening to different people back then. I was more acoustic. The experience. I was still like sort of doubting myself a little bit. But every year I have noticed though is I always set myself a goal every year. Whether it's build up more followers, do more gigs, meet certain people. Like I used a lot of law of attraction from 5 years ago. Like one was to be played on a radio. I've been played on a radio. Have music videos. I've got 3 music videos.
Release an album.
Done that.
You've done a lot, bro. And sometimes I think it's very easy to achieve, have these achievements and just kind of like not actually take them in.
Yeah.
I think you should, man, because obviously you're still on your journey, bro.
Yeah.
And you're doing well, man. You've got
Thank you.
tip my hat off to you. Like you're doing well. But like, celebrate your successes. I think we don't do that enough in life. You know, like there's a lot of people out there who are on the same path as you.
Yeah.
Where do you see, I don't know, the next 5-10 years? Where do you see yourself going, man? Where do you want your music career to go?
I want to be doing festivals. I want to be doing. I want to be like literally.
Am I right in thinking you're doing a festival this year?
Yeah. I'm doing a couple.
Sweet.
I should be like Big Love. Hopefully Boomtown. Immersed Festival in Cardiff. I'm doing Cambridge Folk Festival in London, and the headline is Passenger.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
That's
so like
cool.
that's sick, and that's from doing a festival in October.
So,
Like making
that must give you a good like feel good factor,
yeah,
man.
it's like because like I'm, you know, it's almost like I'm worthy. Like I might even be like the smallest act on that bill, but the fact that I'm on that bill is like an achievement itself. You know,
100%, bro.
like who knows? Like somebody could come to my gig and be like, bro, like there's a festival or there's a gig or event. Then can I book you for it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how it works. Like you just like dot to dot. Like and that all come from going to Focus Wales and performing at Focus Wales. Like people had recommended to come and see me, and that person came and see me and was blown away and was like, "Ah, can I get your details? I would love you to play here." So yeah, like I just think for me, it's meeting the right people and putting myself in those positions.
100%, mate. No, it's the same as anything, man. No one's gonna come and like wave a magic wand and then you're gonna be, oh wow, you're successful now. Like you've got to do the hard work, man. And that's one thing I get from like what I listened to your story today, that you definitely got the work ethic. I think it's the same as kind of anything really in your industry.
Just make sure when you get there, when you get to wherever you need to be, make sure you perform. You perform like, and every gig, any event that you ever play, perform at your best ability, like because you need to make an impact.
100%, yeah. It's
Like,
all about impact.
No, because nobody's gonna like you turn up at and say if you turn up at an event and it's like, you know, there could be somebody in the crowd, and you just slog it and you don't give it your best. Well, you know, your slogging it could be your best to that person that's come to check out.
Well, exactly,
Do you know what I
mate.
mean?
You never know who's in the audience, man.
No.
You know, I think it is really one of those industries where you kind of just got. Sometimes you do need a bit of luck, man.
Yeah.
You need that person to be in the audience,
Yeah.
or you need that person to see your video on Instagram, or you know, like. But what you're doing is the right things. I think you're putting yourself out there. You know, you'll go into these festivals and events and open mic nights and busking, and you just got to keep going, man.
Yeah.
And you've
just
got
persistency.
Yeah, you've got to be persistent, and you've got to have
consistent.
this kind of like. I think you've got it, man. You've got that thing inside you. You just like, I've just got to keep going.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your knockbacks.
Yeah.
We all do in life, but that is where success comes, man.
Yeah.
No one's successful overnight. You know, there's obviously the odd exception to that rule, but I think you're a fine example of someone who's got a passion. You've got something you're good at. You know, I've listened to you, man. You're good. You've got a talent there, bro. And I think you've just got to keep going.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. Just keep grinding.
Keep grafting away.
Literally it. Like, I personally, when I've got more experience with it, or I'd want to do a workshop. Like right now, I just feel as though I'm still.
You mean help like
younger people express themselves.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. Like I did do a songwriting workshop over in Wydeen School with a teacher. Who was an English teacher is into music as well, and it was a chance for younger people to express themselves and have a sanctuary and a place to go to. There was one time, it was in the summer, we was outside, and I spoke to a young person who was speaking to me, and they was basically just telling me all the troubles, and I was just there for them. And they were just like, John, you've really helped me change my life by coming to these little sessions. And she did, like she went and just done more positive things. You know, didn't see life as a big doom and gloom dome over her head, like, you know. I
respect that a lot, man.
So like, I think later on down my career, that's where I want to go and do and what I want to do. Right now, I'm geared to wanting to be successful.
You're doing the right things. You know? You're doing the right things. If any of our listeners or viewers did want to listen to your music, which I know they're going to want to, where can they find it?
They can find it on Spotify. Just type in The Honest Poet. Instagram, The Honest Poet Music. TikTok, The Honest Poet Music. Facebook, The Honest Poet. And iTunes, just basically The Honest Poet. If you type in Honest Poet, I think you find me anywhere, really, on YouTube and all that jazz.
I'm sure they're going to, man, because you've got some great stuff out there.
Thank
and
you.
as soon as they'll become hooked. Jay, I just want to thank you, man, for coming on today and sharing your story. I know you've shared some real personal things. One thing I want to say to you, man, and I always think about this when I see you on social media, when I see you doing your thing, like, just do not give up, man. You've got a talent. You've got a talent. And like, in my life, I've been on this planet that long, but I've seen a lot of people who have got talent that do give up. You know, they'll get stuck on negative paths, whether that's drink, drugs, whatever, right? Or they'll just give up because they don't think they're good enough. But you are good enough, man.
Thank you. I
Right?
appreciate
Don't give up. You're gonna make it. All those things you want to achieve, you're gonna achieve them. And thank you so much for sharing your story with our viewers. Because I'm sure there's definitely people out there who can take positivity from your story and what you're trying to achieve. You know. But yeah, that's the end of today's episode.
Well, thank you very much, Nate.
No, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure. I just want to say to all of our guests, if you give us a like, subscribe, and a follow on any of our social media platforms. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.